All right, welcome back. It's Thursday, so it's time for our Ask the Doctor segment. You send us the questions, and we'll ask the doctor right here on air to get you questions, answers, that is. Dr. Caitlin Merkin, a surgeon with Mercy Bariatric and General Surgery, is here, so glad you're with us.
Sure.
Linda wrote in here. Take a look. She says her triglycerides are in the high 500s. Are those results dangerous, and what can be done to decrease high triglycerides?
Well, Linda, you definitely need to work on getting those down. There's a lot of lifestyle modifications that you can do. Obviously, losing weight, increasing your physical activity level, eating a diet that's kind of decreased in simple sugars or refined carbohydrates and high in omega-3 fatty acids can be helpful in lowering your triglycerides. You can also talk to your doctor about pharmacologic interventions. Things like statins and fenofibrates may be appropriate for you.
This next question affects pretty much anybody, any age. Health data shows respiratory viruses are really high right now. That includes things like COVID, flu, and RSV. How do you know when it's time to test for any of these? And how sick do you need to be to go to the hospital? Do you need to go to the hospital in every situation?
No, great question. I mean, most of the care for these illnesses is supportive, meaning, you know, rest, fluid hydration, things like that. When you need to start thinking about if you need to seek help is if you're immunocompromised, if you start having really severe symptoms like persistently high fevers, hypoxia, altered mental status, or signs of dehydration, or if you have signs of a bacterial infection that might require intervention, things like, again, a high fever or kind of purulent discharge, then you should seek medical attention. But for most of these, you got to just kind of give yourself some rest, a lot of fluids, and it'll run its course.
I know, I just got over something in the last couple of days. Rest and fluid. Back to normal today, thank goodness. Sticking with the flu topic, we've been hearing a lot about the risk of bird flu. How do you tell bird flu apart from the regular flu?
So the primary thing here is what your exposure is, okay? So if you're around wild or sick poultry or wild birds or you're handling dead birds, then yeah, you need to be concerned that you might have the bird flu. Bird flu also has some more severe symptoms, GI symptoms and respiratory symptoms. And there are some laboratory abnormalities where if you're getting tested at a doctor, they might look for. Most of us just have the regular flu and not bird flu, but if you're working at a poultry farm or something like that where you have significant exposure, then you might need to be concerned.
And sticking with the topic of farms, Brenda says she's getting her eggs from a local farm instead of the grocery store. Are there any dangers to eating farm fresh eggs? Personally, like I mentioned in the commercial break, I would love to have chickens one day, but I do wonder, are those eggs ready to go as soon as?
Yeah, I would caution you and Brenda about eating farm fresh eggs. There's a lot of concerns with this. One is farm fresh eggs have a higher risk of antimicrobial resistant bacteria associated with them. There's higher risk for other pathogens as well. Free range hens can eat contaminated soil and different things, since they can harbor pollutants or even heavy metals in them that can get into the eggs. So the best course of action is to get your eggs sourced from a reputable, safe kind of egg handler and maybe not try to DIY this one.
All right, good tips. Good to know. All right, do you want to ask Dr. Caitlin Merkin a question? You can go to our website and submit your questions at firstalert4.com/askthedoctor. Caitlin, thanks so much for being with us.